That's a lot of miles.
Heck of a lot of miles.
Yes. The walks started as a simple idea, just like taking off your shoes today.
I didn't realize how much freedom out of pot.
It starts with the realization that we could talk to you guys about how we can all look at simple things, simple ways to make a difference, simple actions that we can take. When we started off making this album, we were really blown away by some time we spent when we were making the record in Africa. And there's a drill. When we were in Africa, it wasn't the first time we'd seen issues with poverty or issues with disease. In fact, we've been really lucky to get to see a lot of areas in the world and have a bigger perspective of how a lot of people live. But there was a realization in us as we were there with people that we trusted and admired, meeting with doctors and seeing kids that don't have families and orphanages there. There was a realization that we were like everybody else that felt like there was a better idea, there was a better solution waiting in the wings, and that we didn't really have the power to make a difference. That if you think about this group of people, we all feel like we're sort of the unempowered, that we don't really necessarily have a role in facing huge issues. But you guys, you don't realize that you are completely not the average in the world. Look at all these phones. Look at all the resources that we have available to us, the things that we do every day. When you go to a village in Africa and you sit with somebody that's 5 years old and that's walked 10 kilometers just to get to school that day without a pair of shoes and walks 10 kilometers back, and then you look down at your feet and you're like, wow, that barefoot mile really wasn't a big deal. When we were in Africa, we began to learn. We went there with the idea of just opening our minds and learning. What we saw there was an opportunity to look at what we could use to make a difference, the simple things that we could use to make a difference. And today we're going to start by simply showing up and walking. That was, yeah, we timed that perfect. Is that we need a push, we need a reminder that we can all make a difference by doing simple things. When you have 12 million kids living in Africa, for instance, where they don't have families, they've been orphaned by AIDS, you imagine the idea of 12 million kids. 12 million kids is enough to fill Manhattan and all the boroughs around Manhattan with kids without families. And you think, you know what, a pair of shoes doesn't make a difference. But let me tell you, when we sat in villages in South Africa and we put shoes on kids' feet and you look in their eyes and realize they've never been given anything by anyone that was not for someone else before. A brand new pair of shoes, something that was going to change their day, something that's going to change their self-esteem, their ability to do more with their life. One of the things we've done on this whole tour is to partner with this company called Tom's Shoes. Anybody have Tom's Shoes here? Anybody have Tom's? The reason we pulled together with Tom's was the idea that we could all look at something simple that we could do. Tom's is a great example for us because they started their company with the idea of giving back. They said we can give a pair of shoes every time we sell one. We don't have to wait until we're successful. We can start today. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how we can look at our lives, look at our ideas, look at the jobs we take, the people that we influence, and find a way to give back today. Find a way to use what we do to make an impact. Today you guys are just walking. It seems small, but all of a sudden when you're just walking and all these other people are walking, it's this crowd and people turn their head and they wonder what's going on. And you guys are a force to be reckoned with. And not because you're doing something extraordinary, you feel like you're doing something small, but because you're doing something simple, something that you can do every day, something that is real. Just like a pair of shoes. It started with one pair of shoes, and all of a sudden, by the end of this walk tour last year, we walked 48 miles, and we've been able to give over 50,000 pairs of shoes. Now the whole opportunity for each of us is, how can I look at what I do? How can I look at the things I create? How can I look at the people that I influence and find a way to use these simple, tangible things to make an impact? You guys are, without question, the most empowered. We are the most empowered, the most potentially great generation of people ever. And it's a decision that we have to use the resources that we have in simple ways, not for us to go quit our jobs and go become humanitarians and fly across to Africa, but for us to look at what we do at home, the things that we do every day, and find a way to be a part of making a difference. You guys are starting today. One of the hardest things to do is to just show up. and just show up and join us on a 1 mile walk makes a really big difference to us. So I want to thank you guys for walking this far. We're gonna go turn around. I'm gonna finish this 1 mile walk. You guys ready to do that? I want to ask you guys, the ones that didn't take their shoes off today, this is not a guilt walk, but I'm gonna ask you one more time. Maybe you want to take those shoes off and finish this 1 mile walk barefoot with us. Come on, you know you want to. We invite you to take your shoes off, and if you guys are ready to take the walk, I want you to say